on a stove that's actually made with rocks.
Another activity the participants had was the organism ID, which introduced a number of organisms that they would ordinarily see but perhaps not be able to identify each day. And so at the end of the week, they would have been introduced to 20 new organisms.
In Organism ID, we learned the names of all the animals. We learned specific ways we can tell them apart, like the markings on their backs, the scales they have, their outer features and whatnot.
Things that I did not know before that I've learned now, basically the different type of plants and like other marine life inside the sea that I might have saw but never could have named or depicted. Well, the swimming experience was actually a little frightening to me because I'm not known to be a very good swimmer, but the first day I tried with the snorkeling and, you know, I had help, and then the next day I went on to snorkeling a little deeper, but I had to take it slow because I didn't want to hurt myself or do something that I know that I'm not yet ready to do.
I love swimming. The best part was when we were at Pigeon Key, and we got to go scuba diving around the whole island. That was fun.
When I snorkeled at an ocean, it was really fun because, I got to see things that I've never seen before. And it wasn't only about what I saw, but just actually going that deep in the water was an experience for me.
The snorkeling was really great. I loved all the reefs and everything. The fish were wonderful, and the reefs were really, really nice. It was enjoyable, and I really liked it.
I think that it'd be good for other people to learn about this and to come enjoy this experience.
This will be an experience I will share with my friends and family because it's actually should be spread and more kids should try and do this, and I want to encourage that.
So I will definitely tell my friends, and I will encourage people because it would benefit everybody, because in the long run it will only be affecting us if we keep damaging the environment.
I think this camp is very important for kids. One is to teach them about the environment. I see as a big problem for our country is that a lot of locals or Bahamians do not know much about their environment and the importance of their environment, so it's good to start with the kids getting that information in them. And also, it's good also to have a camp like this to teach in terms of team building and leadership and, initiative and stuff, activities like that, to get them into working as a team. And because the only way to run this country well is to run it as a team.
Oh yeah, Lord, right. From the broken reefs, join your voices together. Yeah, all this thing.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Huge crowds turning out for the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. And the COVID-19 Enforcement Unit sharing some concerns tonight. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, a massive touristic development earmarked for Walker's Key is beginning to unfold. The first phase, which included the redevelopment of the marina, is now complete, and the first structure is now being erected. This rebirth of Walker's Key is spearheaded by philanthropist and marlin fishing enthusiast Carl and Gigi Allen out of Texas, who purchased the property in 2018 at a cost of $100 million. The 80 acres Key is surrounded by pristine blue waters and home to a wide array of Bahamian plants and fauna. In 2018, Walker's Key was purchased by Carl and Gigi Allen, owners of the Allen Exploration. Carl Allen says he's been visiting the Key since the age of 12, some 45 years ago. The Key took a major beating in 2004 during Hurricanes Francis and Jean, and since then, Allen says the Key remained dormant.
Been through a lot with the big storm Dorian. That we had just started work on Walker's when Dorian hit, and we dropped everything and started helping Little Grand. We used our fleet to go back and forth, I think 10 times, brought over 1 million pounds of goods, not including diesel and water. So that set us back quite a bit.
Allen says that they began to work on the Key in 2019, but then Hurricane Dorian hit and they had to readjust their plans. Shortly after, the global pandemic also set redevelopment back. Allen says thankfully they've come a long way, and the first structure going up on the Key, a church.
The island was a jungle. The marina was disaster. It was dangerous. We've doubled the size of the marina. We've doubled the size of the depth. As you all saw in the tour, it's very well landscaped right now, and we are having our first tournament Monday. Next week it starts, and be the first time in almost 20 years. Very excited. 40 boats are coming in, and then after that, I think we're going to keep the marina open to an extent, but we've got the structure coming in, and it's probably going to be a good year of that. Just structure coming in. About half of what we're doing is stick built here on the island, and about half is going to be prefabricated in Florida. I was very proud to say that everything you've seen today has been 100% Bahamian.
Phase 1, which was to complete the marina, is now complete. Allen says it was important to have a way for materials to arrive on island. The new marina can hold up to 100 vessels depending on the size. He shares what's next for the development of the Key.
The structure will start here probably next month, and it'll probably be, we really don't know because it's going to be a flow of how the prefab comes in and how the stick build comes along. So it'll be kind of a race to see which goes first, but I'm hoping to get something opened next summer that will have maybe 20 of the rooms. And then as we go, hopefully by the end of next year, we'll have all 50 or so, as well as the lodge and the bar, and then the restaurants, the fuel dock, and the dive shop, and ship store, and all that.
Currently, 20 Bahamians are employed in the redevelopment phase.
However, there's probably close to 80 when you look at all the contractors that we have from mainly from Grand Bahama and at Freeport. But eventually, we are looking at, I believe, close to 60 jobs. And I always tell people, it's not just the 60 jobs. We're going to have these peripheral jobs that I can probably just name 5 businesses on my hand that we're going to need. Things like trash removal. We're going to need people movers. We're going to need fishing guides. We're going to need dive masters. These are all good jobs, and that people want to do. People have fun.
And to the size of the investment into the Key,
probably the big numbers. It's right at $100 million, I think. And I was blessed. We were blessed with a successful business that I sold 5 years ago, and I guess we could be anywhere in the world, but we love it here.
The Allens, originally from the state of Texas, say it is all worth it as they see the Bahamas as more than just an investment to them, but a place they call home. And now to the health beat. It is day 2 of the administration of the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine here in Grand Bahama. Health officials say they are pleased with the level of response from Grand Bahama residents who have been showing up and spreading the word of the benefits of the vaccination. Italia Hall has the story.
That's 1, that's 2, A large crowd turning out at the Susan J. Wallace Center for the second consecutive day to receive the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. And so far, there's almost an equal number of men and women taking the jab. Our ZNS News team spoke with some residents at the vaccination center, some who had just received their second dose and others who were getting ready for the second jab.
I decided to get my second because I ain't put that thing up in my nose. And I will be able to travel free and move free. And the quicker we get rid of this, the quicker our country can come back online.
Probably ease of travel, more importantly than fear of the illness.
Because I think it's the best thing to do at this time. You got it back. I already got the first one. This is my second one. Then to be able to move around more freely.
Yeah, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And I put everything into the hands of the Lord. And whatever happened, so be it.
Former Member of Parliament Ann Presenti Russell received her second shot on Monday and is now fully vaccinated. She says she had no side effects and is encouraging Bahamians to get vaccinated.
Come on down. Come and get the vaccine. Believe in science. Many years ago when we were getting our booster shots for whatever it was, we said nothing. But now social media is taking over the minds of even the intelligent people. The intelligent thing to do is come and get the vaccine.
Resident Julian Knowles had just left the observation room at the center where he received his second shot. He says he's happy that he made the decision to take the vaccine and is asking others to do the same.
Everybody wants to get back to work, and one of the ways of getting back to work is to get your vaccine and get it over with. I'd rather die taking it than die for not taking it. So, it's no big deal about it. You got to get it over with. Look at India, and I like to advise my brothers and sisters out there, just go and take it and get it over with. There's no harm to it, just waiting to where you're going to get Johnson & Johnson and the other one. The vaccine is the vaccine. I remember as a kid taking vaccine for polio and mumps and all of that. It's the same thing. But because of the internet now and all the false stuff, when they have people confused and Bahamians like to go on rumors.
Paul Lockhart sharing that he has comorbidities and he did not want to delay the process.
I am really thankful that the government was able to get this vaccine here for us in the timely manner that they did, considering the world demand for vaccines right now. And it was good that they got it before India stopped shipping the vaccines out of the country. So we are very, very fortunate, and I would like to encourage everybody to come and get this vaccine so that our country can open again.
Now, so far, some 6,200 persons on Grand Bahama have received their first dose. Now, as for the second dose, 300 persons have been vaccinated so far. Now, once persons have been fully vaccinated, they will receive this certificate electronically. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Now, General Manager of the Ministry of Tourism Grand Bahama Office, Stephen Johnson, among the group of persons who received the second dose of the vaccine this week. He says he had the COVID-19 virus earlier this year and is happy that he is now fully vaccinated.
We want to continue to encourage persons to come out. Don't take this COVID thing for a joke. This is serious. I'm telling people for the first time now, a couple months ago, I was really badly sick with COVID. For 3 weeks in my apartment, under the gun. One point I thought I was gonna not make it, and I'm here. I'm in good shape. I exercise every day, but this COVID thing is not a joke. And so I'm here to say I feel good that I've recovered from it a couple months ago, and I'm fully vaccinated. I can travel where I want to travel, and it's a good feeling. I'm pledging to Grand Bahamians to come out and stop listening to all the conspiracy theories. This thing is real. We want to jumpstart this tourism industry faster.
He is also encouraging all persons in the tourism industry to get vaccinated.
It's important because you're coming into contact with persons who, for instance, the Royal Caribbean coming in a bubble and other ships that are expected to come in airlines. You're on the front line, and when we expect you on the front line, we're not forcing anybody to take it, but we're expecting people in the front line to be vaccinated because you can pass on the virus to them, they can pass it on to you. And this gives you a chance if you happen to pick up COVID to be able to fight.
Well, Grand Bahamians now have another option for COVID-19 testing. Doctors Hospital is now in Grand Bahama offering rapid antigen testing as well as RT-PCR testing at the Geneva Wellness Center that is located on East Beach Drive. Site leader Christopher Roll says they are offering a drive-through service, while Dr. Leviticus Roll says he is pleased to partner with Doctors Hospital in this effort.
We have the platform that's readily available. It's online at the Doctors Hospital website. So, for instance, you're able to go on, select the island, which in this case is Grand Bahama, and you can select the testing site, which will be Geneva Wellness. And you're also able to pay for the test prior to coming here, so that once you would have gotten here, all of the formalities are out of the way. You're able to get swab, drive through, and be on your way.
Geneva Wellness Center is a primary care institution. Our focus is on providing primary care. And as you know, COVID-19, we're still in the midst of a very powerful pandemic. And the efforts against COVID-19 is really a primary care effort. And so in that vein, we're pleased to have a powerhouse like Doctors Hospital join us in this effort.
That way because sometimes the volume is high, so we have to respect that also. And generally speaking, though, from experience, we've been able in a lot of cases to get the results out within a day. So we make every effort to get the results out as quickly as possible. And what we do with the results, for those persons that have email addresses, the results are emailed so that they would know in a timely manner.
The COVID-19 Ambassador Unit has been given the mandate of monitoring beaches, hotspots, and cultural sites to ensure the public is adhering to the necessary protocols established by the Ministry of Health. The unit came into effect sometime last year, and the officer in charge of the enforcement unit in Grand Bahama says that their presence has been effective in keeping COVID numbers relatively low on this northern island. However, he says there are still some areas of concern. Rumiko Knowles has more.
One of the concerns that we have as a unit is the citizenry adhering to the emergency orders.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Marlon Grant is the officer in charge of the COVID-19 Enforcement Unit in Grand Bahama. He says a major challenge for the ambassadors is having to constantly warn individuals to obey the health guidelines.
We find from time to time we visit certain businesses or we may visit beaches and parks, and we find ourselves having to almost repeat a whole lot of the directive: wear your mask, sanitize, practice the social distancing. So that is one of the major concerns that we have as a unit here on Grand Bahama.
The officer in charge says the Port Lakaya Marketplace and the local fish fry are hotspots. COVID Ambassador Charles Thompson says they are constantly patrolling the areas to ensure that everyone is abiding by the guidelines.
I would encourage persons, once they're out and away from their residency, to make sure that they are wearing the face mask, and make sure if your kids are going out to those places, make sure they're carrying with them the face mask, an ID issued by the government, because it's also a fine not to have an ID issued by the government once asked for it.
But once you are found in breach of orders, there is a fine to pay.
Very recently, we had to go out and look in search of a person who should have been in quarantine. When we did our checks, we found that that individual was not at home and that person was at work. Our response to it was, we cite you. That's a $500 fine.
Some restaurants were also found in breach and were given citations.
In terms of restaurants and bar, there is a cap that you have to maintain. And if you go beyond that, then certainly you are fined. We had, in about 2 weeks ago, a restaurant and bar was fined almost $5,000.
The COVID ambassadors are also stationed outside of the ports of entry to ensure that travelers have proper documentation. Recently, there has been a spike in fraudulent COVID-19 documents, and individuals had to be taken before the courts.
It is a concern, and what we have done as a unit to keep us informed, we have met with the laboratories here so that we can be educated as a unit as to what to look for what is genuine and what is not. They have some identification on those results that them and us now know what we need to look for. As it relates to if there are any active cases, I could say that there is one that is being investigated.
The officer in charge says their job is to ensure that the emergency orders are being followed. He believes that their efforts are paying off. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit locating a small quantity of dangerous drugs and in a separate incident arrested one male for conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with intent to supply. In the first incident, shortly before 5:30 yesterday, officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit went to the area of Basil Nemar Park, situated on Carl Road, where they discovered next to a utility pole a black plastic saran wrap which contained suspected marijuana. No arrests were made. In the second incident, DEU officers on Grand Bahama, acting on information from DEU officers in New Providence, arrested a 40-year-old male of Dollar Row, Freeport, in connection with the discovery of 58 kilos of suspected cocaine that was previously discovered on Cat Island. Investigations are continuing. And stay with us, there's still more news to come right after this break.
Come on down.
ZNS Shopping Network is the place for deals. Bahamas. Get ready for our national launch coming June 1st, 2021. For the first time ever, any store can advertise their sale items or discounted coupons on ZNS and get TV and radio commercials at never seen before prices. So if you've got stuff and you want to put it on sale, we'll tell the entire Bahamas all about it. So merchants, log on to ZNSShoppingNetwork.com and click the merchant inquiry button today to get started.
Are you an entrepreneur or small business owner in need of a business license? Find out if GBPA's new micro business license is the right fit for you. It's now easier and more affordable for entrepreneurs to acquire a business license and enjoy all the benefits of being part of our licensee community. For more information on the new micro business license, call us at 350-9000.
Come on down to World Wholesale on Queens Highway in the Bamboo East Complex, opposite Yeager Funeral Home, where we sell the highest quality hurricane impact windows, doors, metal roofs, and hurricane shutters at the best prices you can find. Visit our store Monday to Friday.
Did quarantine, lockdowns, and curfews help you to discover your inner chef? Well, I want to hear from you. Munching with Megan is back. Let's get cooking.
All new guest chefs and all new flavors. Tune in this and every Wednesday on the ZNS TV network.
The Grand Bahama Utility Company has made it easier for you to access your utility bill. So avoid the lines and receive your bill in real time when you visit us to update your account. All you need is a valid email address and a mobile phone number. For more information, contact our Utility Relations Department at 350-9009.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The countdown is on to the Bahamas Virtual Business Expo, slated for Wednesday morning. The online event is free and is designed to bring business leaders together to access new and innovative products to grow their business or start a new business. Organizer Valdez Russell of VKR Insight says this is the first time this platform is being used to showcase small and medium-sized enterprises in the Bahamas.
Ragged Island, Abaco, Bimini, or even here in Grand Bahama, you'll be able to log on Wednesday, May 19th at 9:30 and access a variety of exhibitors. In addition to that, because we know that people have busy lives and schedules, they'll be able to access presentations and empowerment sessions on demand, on your schedule, on your time. The exhibitors will be available for a 24-hour period.
Russell is encouraging business leaders across the country to take advantage of this virtual forum. He says there will be a special bonus for businesses on Grand Bahama.
One of the elements for persons here in Grand Bahama is when you register for the event, you'll have access to our happy hour. Happy hour is powered by our friends at Heineken and is going to be hosted at the Pelican Bay. To get details around how you can be on the exclusive guest list as a participant at this event, visit us at bahamasvirtualbusinessexpo.vfairs.com.
And once again, businesses can register at bahamasvirtualbusinessexpo.vfairs.com. And in other news, a new teachers union has been formed on Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, under the leadership of Sandra Major, is a new union that she says is a unified body advocating for teachers. According to Major, the new teachers union was formed out of frustration. She says her slate of officers are comprised of professionals deeply interested in and passionate about education.
Our aim here in this new union is to work in partnership with the Ministry of Education, because what we realize is that we have a voice, and we wish our voices to be heard. So we're all about partnership, we're about leadership. Each of us have found that we're leaders because we have found a cause to fight for. And so we're fighting for the rights of teachers to be heard, and when they speak, their words are taken and we run with what they say. We don't have our own agenda. We want them to know that when you speak, we will listen. And our goal with the Ministry of Education, with the teachers, is to know that we are here to serve you. We realize that, we keep repeating the same thing. And if you don't take a stand for something, then people will say, you agree with what's going on. So out of frustration, we got together and say enough is enough.
The leadership of the new union paying a courtesy call at the Ministry of Education here in Grand Bahama. Ivan Butler, District Superintendent of Education for Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys, meeting with the officers of the new union. He says he is hoping to form a working partnership with the union to assist in the overall development of the education system.
Since I came to office in 2017, we here at the Ministry of Education has had a very good working relationship with the Bahamas Union of Teachers, and we look forward to the same kind of representation and camaraderie and togetherness from this here new union. I am told the president is Mrs. Sandra Major, and the area vice president is Mrs. Martha Edgecombe. From the Ministry of Education point of view, we welcome them, and we look forward to working them as we work together for the betterment of our students and teachers in the district.
And now for your daily dose of sports, here is Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. The 2021 Olympic Games is just 2 months away. A number of Bahamian athletes gearing up for the biggest sports stage. In track and field, former BMES standard middle distance runner Quenisha Marshall and her Middle Tennessee women's track and field team captured the Conference USA title. Marshall finished 4th overall in the women's 800 meters with a personal best time of 2 minutes 11 seconds.
Overall, I think the performance was okay, coming back from back-to-back hamstring injuries, and all I gotta say is God really revealed himself. My ability to run my personal best. To be honest, I think there is so much more that I am capable of. And this season really showed me that and pushed me a lot. My future plans with track and field is actually qualifying for NCAA regionals indoor and outdoor next year. I do start cross country, so we're gonna see what happens.
Sticking in track, the 2021 Tokyo Olympics is scheduled to begin July 23rd through August 8th. Whether the games will still be happening, Ravana Ferguson, first vice president of the B3As, gave us this update.
I mean, I feel that Olympics will take place. It's a much bigger stage, and again, it's a world athletics event. So, I mean, I can't foresee them canceling the Olympics right now. They'll make it as COVID safe as possible. And we just can hope for the best in terms of getting our athletes qualified and out there.
Switching gears now, in the NBA, Buddy Hield and the Sacramento Kings has been officially eliminated from the play-in contention, and the franchise will miss the postseason for the 15th consecutive year, which ties the NBA record. The Kings finished the season with a 31-41 record. Hield played in 71 games on the season, where he averaged 16.6 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and 3.6 assists. He set a new career high of 280 made three-pointers in a single season. And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Do you have an innovative or creative business idea? Apply for GBPA's Diversity Waiver. For more information or to apply, call 350-9000.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with ZNS to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
Tell me, what are you doing to improve your life?
Since COVID-19 is reading, that's something in itself because it's so fast. So yeah, it's engrossing.
Join me for Direct Talk, live with David G. Weekdays at 11 a.m. on the Bahamas Radio Network.
Take your time, take your time. You sure, right, yo?
Money short.
You sure? All right.
Money short.
Okay. Miss.
You know Lou's a buy-in, right?
Oh, well, you must be getting kids' mealy. Man, I ain't bring no money like that. Just you know you greedy.
Well, today is your lucky day.
Oh.
Check out the ZNS Shopping Network. See what deals they have on food.
Look here. Boy, Madcap got some super deals. Check it out. You got a $25 coupon for 15 and a $20 coupon for 10.
Well, Madcap it is.
All right. Hey, I roll him at you, eh?
Log on to ZNSShoppingNetwork.com and get your deals today.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Daphne McKinney, you are our Facebook friend of the day, and we thank you so much for joining us. And we want to wish a very happy birthday to businessman Mario Donato. He is a friend of ZNS. Mario, we hope you are having a fabulous birthday. That's going to do it for us here in the North, but be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Megan Shepard. Have a wonderful evening.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, a serious bruise to the labor sector. A high school stabbing ends in death. And senators salute a former parliamentarian. Those stories and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, returns.
you are a healthcare worker, thank you for fighting on the front lines against COVID-19. It is normal to feel stressed when taking care of others who don't feel well. But remember to take care of yourself. Don't forget to rest between shifts, eat healthy meals, engage in physical activity, and stay connected to family and friends. Avoid harmful coping strategies like drinking alcohol. For managers of healthcare workers, the same tips apply to you. Here's how you can help. Consistently give updates. Rotate staff between high and low stress level functions. Encourage work breaks and ensure that they know where they can find help. We are here for you.
This portion of the news brought to you by BTC's Dollar Holla Deals.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Akush Lapindo. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. 700 employees of the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort to receive their pink slips, with management citing significant revenue loss as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. In a May 18th letter to employees, Atlantis President and CEO Audrey Oswell confirmed that staff who will be disengaged will receive a phone call from their senior department head and an email from Human Resources. She says the decision was a difficult one and in no way reflects on the disengaged team members. Quote, "We are collectively living through the worst pandemic of our lifetime. And as it began to unfold, global travel came to a standstill. Our business suffered significant losses, and in response, we drastically cut costs that touched nearly every corner of Atlantis. While these actions were necessary, it became clear that we had to go further." The Atlantis executive added that while she expects the resort to recover and business has increased since its reopening, the significant changes that have taken place will not be temporary or short-lived, prompting the need to downsize. Oswell went on to note that what she learned this past year is that a crisis brings clarity about what is truly important. Quote, "Though we have been through a whirlwind, some things are more apparent to me than ever before. I am thankful for everyone at Atlantis and have a deep respect for all of you throughout this unprecedented experience." The Atlantis community, she says, will never stop seeking the qualities and talents brought to the property by the departing staff. Well, Atlantis officials further confirming in a brief statement that they needed to make fundamental shifts by reducing the size of the workforce around a more focused business strategy. Again, they wished all parting team members every success in the future and thanked them for their valued contribution to the Paradise Island mega resort. Well, the tourism minister is this evening weighing in on Atlantis's mass termination in the process, admitting that for those workers hoping to be called back, it's going to take some time to find permanent employment.
Obviously, it's very unfortunate for such a substantial downsizing to occur.
News of the country's single largest private employer severing ties with some 700 of its team members, a huge shock to the labor market, and at a time when jobs are tough to find and bills mount as the COVID-19 pandemic shows little signs of letting up. But Tourism Minister, the Honourable Dionisio de Aguilar, reasons that if there is an upside to such a blow, it's that many of the now terminated employees were in limbo since being furloughed months back.
I remember when I was campaigning in Freetown, there was a gentleman who told me he did not want to go back. He just wanted to be severed. He wanted some finality to his relationship at Atlantis. So for those persons, I think they are delighted that that relationship has now been concretized. But obviously, tourism has been substantially negatively impacted by coronavirus. A lot of companies started off by furloughing to mitigate the necessity to sever people. But Atlantis has now gotten itself into a position where it can sever people and pay them the monies that they would have earned based on their years of experience.
Having been on staff for decades, some of those workers would have accumulated a significant severance pay, money that could very well be used to pay off bills or start new ventures. Still, despite the continued blows to tourism, the minister's optimism hasn't waned.
We're expecting a quick rebound, maybe not to the levels of 2019, but nonetheless, employment levels will begin to go back up. Sandals, for example, is opening on the first week of November. They're going to be taking back 980 employees. So you'll start to hear these positive stories as tourism improves.
Well, sharing similar sentiments, the Labor Minister is acknowledging the impact Atlantis' decision will ultimately have on the country's unemployment figure. Here's Carla Palmer.
This is indeed a very sad day. There's a lot of uncertainty with respect to the employment situation in the Bahamas now.
Labor Minister Senator the Honorable Dion Fowkes on the termination of those 700 employees at the Atlantis property on Paradise Island. He's calling the disengagement unfortunate.
And I know that those families must be going through a lot of worry at this time. So the government wishes to empathize with all 700 of those families, of those employees, and to say that we're doing everything in our power to ease the burden and to bring assistance to those employees.
Minister Fowkes is pledging the government's assistance wherever possible.
As you know, the government has an employment assistance program in place now, which will continue to the end of June. At that point, we'll make another assessment to see whether we have to extend the unemployment assistance program. Also, as you know, millions of dollars have been spent on the National Food Program, which has been very effective and has assisted thousands of Bahamian families. I would encourage all of the 700 members, families and employees who are affected today to number one, to register with the Labor Department Employment Exchange.
The Labor Minister is also encouraging the group to access the Small Business Development Center to transition to entrepreneurs.
Thousands of Bahamians have accessed the funding from the SBDC and are now running successful businesses.
Minister Fowkes too advised the released workers to seek employment at other hotel properties on the verge of opening.
There are two big prospects on the horizon now. The Point Development, which intends to hire some 500 to 600 permanent employees, and also Bahama Bay, their new development that they're opening in a couple of months. I think they are aiming to hire some 700 employees.
The Labor Minister says the government has not received notice from any other hotel properties in the country advising of any similar action. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
We continue our team coverage with the Director of Labor addressing what these terminations now mean for those workers. Cleopatra Murphy says he's also urging these employees to not squander their severance pay.
Although the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort began disengaging some 700 of its 7,300-strong staff complement on Tuesday, Director of Labor John Pinder says officials reluctantly made the redundancies due to limited revenue streams.
Certainly, their view to us was that they spent some money training and retraining their staffers. They didn't want to fire anybody or make anybody redundant. But due to circumstances beyond their financial control, they find themselves in a position now where they have to go ahead and let some of these people go.
Pinder says prior to the news going public, Atlantis alerted the Department of Labor of its decision. Still, he remained hopeful that with the extension of the emergency powers orders to August 23rd, the Paradise Island property would have been able to keep staff on. But it was not meant to be.
They did their projection, and based on what they can forecast financially, they figured they're in the best position now to make some places redundant. So some places are happy to receive redundancy packages. There's a whole category of workers, some nearing the retirement age, some not so old, and even some young ones. But they would have done what's best. And that's why I continuously encourage Bahamians to put your best foot forward every day. Make it very difficult for the employer to make a decision to terminate you or make you redundant.
With hundreds of the resort's employees now set to get separation packages, the Director of Labor advises they not be careless with the funds coming their way.
Someone hasn't lived the country in 2 years, and we're used to going away 2-3 times a year, traveling at least 2-3 times a year. So don't waste your funds doing that. Only buy what is necessary. Buy what you need, don't buy what you want. Spend the money wisely, try to invest, try to become an entrepreneur. Do not find yourself on the unemployment line looking for a job because you squandered a small amount of money or whatever amount of money you receive. You have to spend that and use that wisely.
Atlantis reopened its doors on December 10th with 2,500 of its furloughed employees returning to work after being closed from March 21st, 2019 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This round of redundancies comes after the property was forced to send hundreds of its workers back on furlough in January, weeks after its reopening. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union officials learned about the terminations last night in a letter from Atlantis officials. President Darren Wood sharing with our news team that letter pointed to workers being redundant as of May 23rd.
It did not indicate in the letter at the time the numbers of persons. And so once we would have gotten to the office this morning, we responded, of course, requesting the relevant information, the areas that are going to be affected, the persons that are going to be affected, the numbers, and also the higher date. Because, of course, all calculations are hinged on their higher date. So that's how we learn about and that is where the conversation precipitated into the amount of persons that would be affected.
Now, in light of reports surfacing that some Atlantis employees were ready to leave the resort, Wood says he and his team will be closely monitoring the resort's severance payment plan.
We have to now make sure that whatever they're being paid is actually what they're entitled to, and we would know that when we get all the relevant information. And this is normal during redundancies. We will get the information, and if there's a dispute in terms of what was paid, you're able to go back and correct whatever needs to be corrected.
Well, still to come, a fatal high school stabbing under investigation and a brief sitting for senators. Those stories and more when the Bahamas National Report continues. Tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch live at 5 with Amajal Knowles, followed by the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition at 6:30, and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Welcome to a world where hope is still loud, where dreams are still relevant, and determination has no substitute. Welcome to a nation where the people are still warm, resilient, and innovative. And Commonwealth Bank is at the center of it all, giving innovation and progress an extra push for more than 60 years. We're here for Bahamians because we are Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
Meeting at KFC, John was appointed the savings ambassador. Get a mega crazy bundle with 9 pieces of freshly prepared, hot and juicy KFC chicken and mega-sized servings of creamy coleslaw and fluffy mashed potatoes smothered in home-style gravy. All for only $22. Save like an expert, only on Tuesdays and only at KFC Nassau.
Bounce. Bounce. Bounce.
It's time to bounce back with B.O.B. It's time to bounce back with B.O.B. Lowest consumer loan rates in the country. Trying to bank with no stress, we make it too easy. It's time to bounce back with B.O.B. It's time to bounce back with B.O.B. Apply today for a B.O.B. Visa credit card, debt consolidation loan, or easy top-up. B.O.B. Your bank of solutions.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Tonight, one family mourns as the life of their high school-aged son was cut short in an incident at the government high school. Anthony Smith was there and has the details.
It's a tragic end to what was supposed to be a normal day at school for government high school students.
They want to leave. They want to come out of there because they don't want to be the next victims.
These fears coming from parents of students locked on the inside of the GHS campus after a daytime stabbing incident left a teenage male dead and another fighting for his life in hospital.
Two students were in the corridor having a conversation with one another, and they were approached by two others who started an altercation. Edge tools were produced, and two of those persons were stabbed. But we don't know whether the victims were the aggressors in this situation, or the victims or the aggressors were the one who was stabbed.
Police say the high school perpetrators then scaled the school walls before making good on their escape. Inside, pandemonium as scared and anxious teens phoned home to parents, some showing up at the school's gate with impassioned attempts to make sure their children were safe.
They don't never mentally check nobody, right? That's not right. It's not right for a mother to have to find this thing out just like that and nobody saying nothing. Even after I have to see it on the news. A stabbing of death at that?
The tragedy prompting calls from frustrated parents for more police presence in schools. Minister of Education, the Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd, noting that while the situation is grave, incidents of this kind are a one-off occurrence.
Our schools are very safe. It is a mantra and a mandate of us here at this ministry to ensure the safety of our schools for our students, our teachers, and our administrators, and our staff, and all those who come on. Obviously, this is unfortunate, but I wish parents and I wish the Bahamian people to know that our schools are very safe, and incidences of this kind are not a usual occurrence.
And while hundreds of parents are relieved, tonight one family grieves as the search begins now for the two students responsible for this fatal crime.
Our officers would have left the school, and the leads that they would have had, we are following those leads at this time, and I believe in due course we should have those persons in custody.
The Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson requesting her members to keep officials and students of the government high school in their prayers. Anthony Smith, ZNS Network News.
Also in crime news, a 61-year-old American man is behind bars after being arrested for human trafficking. He's connected to a warning police previously issued to Bahamians and residents about a scheme luring people with the promise of a job at a resort in Orlando, Florida. Police said the resort being associated with the scheme has no employment agreement with the suspect, who has been prospecting in the Bahamas. In other news this evening, the government's hoping to take the United States up on its offer to access some of their COVID-19 vaccines that will soon be made available to the world. As you may know, their vaccines are of different brands than what's being offered here in the Bahamas. The health minister told our Carla Palmer that the availability would not only afford residents another option, but hopefully result in an increase in the numbers of people seeking to get vaccinated.
We are in the process of following a very defined, laid out plan as to how we get control of the increase in cases, of COVID cases in the country.
That plan, although not limited to, involves almost exclusively encouraging as many residents as possible to be inoculated with the COVID-19 AstraZeneca vaccine. Health Minister, the Honorable Renwood Wells, says the government is awaiting the receipt of 34,000 more doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine for a total of 120,000 doses in country.
To my people, whom I love so dearly, we know what the solution is for what ails us and how we get out of where we are now, and that is to go and get vaccinated.
As for the possibility of residents accessing other vaccines, Minister Wells says it is not for the government's lack of trying.
I saw the President of the United States yesterday saying how they're going to seek to assist other countries. And so we are looking and talking, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, both he and I are reaching out to other jurisdictions to see how we can source all available vaccines for the Bahamian people.
Like some other countries, would fully vaccinated residents be given the option of not wearing masks?
When the country gets vaccinated and individuals are vaccinated, I think the Bahamian people can see that this government is willing to move in a positive direction for those folks who are responsive in that regard. Look at what we said in regards to just travel for fully vaccinated persons. So I think we've already signaled and intimated what we intend to do. And it isn't just us. It is what the science is saying. It is what other societies are doing because they've moved forward. We see the roadmap. We see the light at the end of a tunnel, and we know it's not an oncoming train.
As it stands now, contact tracing is underway in Andros and the Berry Islands, where health officials have seen an increase in confirmed COVID-19 cases.
The Ministry of Health has sent its requisite teams down to assess the circumstance, to see where we are in regards to vaccination in those areas. It is a very fluid circumstance and situation in those islands, and the government, if need be, will come back with other determinations. But right now, we believe that getting vaccinated, adhering to the health protocols that are in place, will help us to be able to get our hands around what is taking place in those beautiful islands of Andros and the Berry Island.
Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Well, no COVID deaths to report today, but in the face of that good news, we're looking at another 53 new cases, 27 on New Providence, 17 on Cat Island, 4 on Grand Bahama, 2 on Exuma, 1 on the Berry Islands, and the locations of another 2 pending. These newly confirmed cases putting the countrywide count to 11,278. Of that 53, 1 New Providence resident has a history of travel within 14 days. As of Monday, 6 people were in the intensive care unit, with another 42 moderately ill. We can also tell you that at last count, 10,121 people had recovered from the virus. Well, despite the pandemic bringing the tourism industry to a standstill, the Bahamas is actually seeing an uptick in visitor arrivals. That story tonight from Desmond Saunders.
As the country battles a third wave of the COVID-19 crisis and as a vaccination exercise gains momentum, the nation's tourism minister, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, believes the country's tourism product is slowly on the rebound.
Because our largest source market is the United States. Pre-COVID, 83% of our foreign visitors came from the U.S. Post-COVID, it's probably in the high 90s. And as the Americans are getting vaccinated, and they are getting vaccinated in droves, in excess of 100 million who have been vaccinated. As they become vaccinated, they become emboldened to travel.
Tourism officials also seeing an uptick in travel applications. Last month, April, over 64,000 non-residents purchased travel health visas. Fully vaccinated visitors who have passed a 2-week immunity period are now allowed entry to the Bahamas without having to take a COVID test. Fully vaccinated travelers are also exempted from testing requirements, and fully vaccinated travelers are also exempted from testing requirements when traveling domestically from New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Exuma, and Eleuthera to any other island.
We had some bumps with the health visa, but we've tweaked that now, and that's working much more smoothly. So when the Prime Minister said that persons who are vaccinated can come in without a PCR test, both Bahamians and visitors, that led to a surge on the site. So we had to adjust our protocols and how we dealt with that, but we fixed that now, and it's moving much smoother.
And while the industry continues to enjoy a steady stream of visitors in its high net worth travel market, cruise travel remains a key focus in the coming weeks.
As the year progresses, probably they always suggested in the third quarter, they would probably commence sailings out of Florida. But of course, we have our own home porting that is about to happen here in July, and June and July. So that will give us an ability to tide over the period under which the cruising begins out of Florida again.
The tourism minister says the country's full economic recovery from the fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic will depend on tourism stakeholders taking advantage of opportunities to receive vaccinations. He's encouraging all Bahamians, particularly those in the hospitality industry, to now get vaccinated. Desmond Saunders, ZNS Network News.
Officials are looking to ensure the environment remains untouched in that new Western New Providence community. To do so, it's issued a request for proposal, or RFP, for the completion of an environmental impact assessment along with an environmental management plan on the 83 acres in Prospect Ridge that's been earmarked for young professionals. The EIA and EMP are to ensure there is a considered level of protection for the environment and to contribute to the integration of environmental considerations throughout both the planning and development phase. Vianna Gardner, chair of the Committee for the Development of Communities for Young Professionals, says it's also to make certain there's strict compliance with the Environmental Planning and Protection Act. The committee has already met with all government regulatory agencies involved in the initial stages of the development. If you're interested in securing an RFP, you can do so from the government's e-procurement and supplier registry portal. Proposals are to be submitted to tendersboard@bahamas.gov.bs no later than May 28th. In news from Parliament this evening, senators met briefly today with the leader of Government Business, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honorable Carl Bethel, tabling the proclamation of state of emergency and the Emergency Powers COVID-19 Management and Recovery Pandemic Order. The documents are precursors to a parliamentary debate on the extension of emergency orders. That debate kicks off in the House of Assembly on Wednesday. Senators also paused today to remember former parliamentarian, veteran broadcaster, and cultural enthusiast Sir Charles Carter. For Senator the Honorable Carl Bethel, Sir Charles was an intellectual with a passion for national progress.
We all grew up listening to the Young Bahamian show on Saturdays, I think, if I recall right, in the mornings on ZNS. He was a part of he was a broadcaster, but he was an intellectual, and he was a part of the movement among the intellectual classes, the Winston Saunderses, the Clement Bethels, the Gail Saunderses, who fundamentally believed, and you could add the Burnside family as well, to that having a new nation was not enough if you didn't know how to appreciate both yourself and it.
Progressive Liberal Party Senator the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville remembered the long life of his relative as he wished the Carter family sincere condolences.
Sir Charles Carter was a descendant of Crooked Island and Long Key, and Sir Charles Carter and my grandmother had a very close tie. As you're aware, my mother is a descendant from Long Key and Crooked Island, with very few family, but Sir Charles Carter was one of our closest family, and we had a very good relationship. I distinctly remember when he was ill initially and had a kidney transplant. We all knew of it and wish him well. I would be saying some more things probably at our next sitting about Sir Charles, but on behalf of all of us on this side, we once again wish his family the deepest condolences.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
We're more than a year into this COVID-19 pandemic, and there are still many of us in great need. BTC and its volunteers understands that, and that's why we're hosting a BTC Give Back. But this Give Back isn't like any you've seen before, because BTC has put its own twist on it.
During the pandemic, I mean, you know, the Bahamas is hurting, and BTC recognizes that. And I personally was overwhelmed at not only the response of the amount of people that came, but the response of our staff that really saw that particular need to assist. And, you know, it's heart-wrenching to see all of these people come in, and as we are sharing, it pulls at the heart. But it's a great testament to not only the people at BTC, but what BTC stands for and what we're doing for the community.
I'm very proud, I'm very happy. It's very good what the corporates are doing right now for the Bahamians. I told a lot of friends and family members about it, and it's a wonderful thing they're doing.
You ended up winning something. How do you feel today?
Man, this is going to come in great. This is going to come in great. It's an early birthday present for me.
We understand how great the need is in the country as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, so BTC is pleased to have done its part. We, along with our team of volunteers, understand that these are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pyfrom. Continue to be well and be back here next BTC Connection.
Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
The Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality, or BBSQ, ensures better business practices in the Bahamas through the development and promotion of voluntary and mandatory national standards. Standards are guidelines which ensure that goods and services are produced with the safety of consumers and the environment in mind. BBSQ has developed standards for the manufacturing of bottled water. All vehicles brought into the country are also subject to standards. We have protocols for the poultry and egg production industry. National standards also apply to the construction industry. We are setting quality management and quality assurance guidelines to ensure that medical laboratories are competent. Standards help businesses to reduce expenditure, improve customer satisfaction, access new markets, reduce environmental impact, increase market share, and innovate. For consumers, standards provide improved choice, lower costs, greater assurance, compatibility, consistency, and better product information. We believe that standards matter to everyone, everywhere. We are the Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality, where quality is our standard.
BBSQ, coming for through. You, for me.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Count salesmen on Porterski Dock fear their only means of making a living is being taken after the Bahamas Agricultural Health and Food and Safety Authority warned the public not to purchase any raw conch products, and vendors themselves advised against selling them. While officials say they want to use the time to determine the reason for a spate of recent conch poisoning, vendors say they are already struggling to survive.
I think they very much need to look at it again and encourage the people to, if they feel there's any fear, encourage the people to do more sanitizing if they think so. And I think this matter will be all cleared up.
Vendors have already been hurt by a decline in sales due to COVID-19 restrictions These conch vendors say this is just another blow they will have to bear.
The Bahamas now depends on the sea to survive. Okay? This is our livelihood.
But conch vendors never catch themselves, you know, because and this one, you come out here any day of the week, and just like this. You put your conch on the stall, you throw them back in the water. People not buying them.
Bahamas Petroleum Company's outgoing CEO is getting a few things off his chest before leaving office, beginning with the integrity of BPC's oil exploration licenses. Simon Porter first making it clear that the licensing regime in the Bahamas is no different to that in many advanced economies, a core component being that energy companies agree to assume considerable financial risk in the clear expectation that license rights, once granted, will be respected. Porter contends that if this were not the case, that is, if the integrity of agreements could not be relied upon, the companies would never invest huge volumes of capital, let alone explore for resources to enrich an economy with a resource that takes decades to create a return on the company's investment. It's on these grounds that he finds it entirely spurious for foreign environmental groups to offer what he calls unsolicited legal advice on a matter of which they have no background, no knowledge, no insight, and certainly no experience or expertise. BPC was awarded hydrocarbon exploration licenses in 2007. Those licenses have been extended and renewed on various occasions. Well, from the Bahamas with love, the Ministry of Tourism Sales and Marketing team bringing the Bahamas to a group of Florida teachers who were recently gifted beach bags loaded with goodies. Those goodies, all Bahamas branded items. We're talking hand sanitizers, masks, sunglasses, caps, and beach towels. Tourism executive Falia Shiver says as teachers have worked tirelessly and selflessly to help children, especially during the pandemic, the ministry felt it only fitting to show its gratitude to the 76 teachers of Somerset Academy Miramar Charter School. Shivers added that they not only wanted to invite them to the Bahamas to experience the perfect place, but provide them with tangible, memorable, and practical gifts they could use while with their family and friends vacationing. And where else but in the Bahamas? Well, he's known for his combination of enforcing law and order and music talents. And now, after 32 years on the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Andrew Hunter is retiring. Desmond Saunders has his story.
It's a journey that began some 32 years ago. April 5th, 1989, Andrew Hunter joined the Royal Bahamas Police Force, serving with distinction in numerous roles. Hunter, who also celebrates his 60th birthday, recalls fond memories.
One of the things that stands out to me is the fact that I was able to mentor many of the young people in the police force band. Everyone that you see is playing now is part of my mentorship program, including the present director of the band. My mentorship would have not been just to the police band. Many of the defense force officers, including the one that you see signed for me today, part of my mentorship program. And as you know, the president of a band, part of my mentorship program. I would have been the supervisor that the customs for the officers would have come to for approval to start a customs corps band. And so all of these things have become the highlight of my activity, my career. But also to be able to assist in the family island development. Thanks to Mr. George, I was able to travel to every family island on a consistent basis, Long Island being the longest, then Exuma, to render every family island band started at the time was started by myself.
Andrew's passion and love for music catapulted him in the national spotlight, playing an integral role in the world-famous Royal Bahamas Police Force Band. He was the assistant director of the Nassau Brass Band and a former member of the National Youth Orchestra. A special ceremony held in his honor at Wesley Methodist Church, Malcolm Road East. Family, friends, colleagues, and his wife paid tribute to the honoree.
I want to give God all the services that I can. There are many services I miss because of beach retreats and special function and traveling the police band had to do. So I want to give God my utmost service at this time. I also want to spend some time with this beautiful lady and my son Sammy and to make sure that they're happy. I also want to be able to spend more time helping more people as often as I can.
His wife, Sophia Hunter, now looking forward to this new chapter.
I feel good to know that he could get more time to be with himself and do the things that he likes to do, you know. But for me, I still would have to work for a few more years before I retire.
Andrew Hunter, educator, national builder, husband, musician, and Christian minister. The journey continues. Desmond Saunders, ZNS Network News.
Well, thanks, Desmond. As we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
The $20 combo, unlimited talk, yo, to every network you know. Across the Bahamas, I got 6 gigs of data, plus unlimited chat. It just roll over too. Now let me check my people on Facebook and WhatsApp. BTC is where it's at. I rock my combo.
Your BTC 10-day combo is now only $20 and is supersized with a new low price.
BTC, do it again.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Save each day in May at your favorite super value and quality supermarkets. Libby spaghetti and meatballs, 14.5-ounce can, $1.39. Hunt ketchup, 32-ounce jar, $2.39. Sweet mangoes, 2 for $3. Premium boneless strip steaks, $7.99 per pound. Devon corned beef, 12-ounce can, 2 for $5. Super Value Winton open Sundays 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Super Value Cable Beach open Sundays 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Bahamas Defense Force Rangers on the island of Exuma getting some much-needed equipment to help with learning. A donation was made today by members of Exuma's District Council in Georgetown.
I'm here on behalf of the District Council here in Exuma and all councillors. We'd like to present these tablets to the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Rangers.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. The program has been in Exuma for about 2 years now, and these 2 tablets go straight in the hands of 2 of our cadets that are in much need of it. Thank you.
Well, nearly 2 years after her home was completely destroyed by Hurricane Dorian, an elderly Abaco woman now has a place to call her own. Longtime Jehovah's Witness minister Barbara Farrington was the recipient of the brand new single-story home in Spring City, Abaco. The house, just one of a few built by officials of the Jehovah's Witness organization, which is committed to helping Abaconians rebuild their lives after the storm.
I'm quite surprised. Yeah. You know, what I see, what I have, which basically I have nothing that I left. The clothes on my back. And so it was really a surprise and see Jehovah's blessing that I'm very, very thankful, grateful for what the brothers have done.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, McKishler. Outside of our studios, we're under partly sunny skies. Temperature 81 degrees, the relative humidity 65%. We have easterly winds at 20 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,017.7 millibars. That is 30.06 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, well, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 81 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Green Toll Key in Abaco. Marshall, Abaco at 78 degrees, the Berry Islands 80, Alliston, Bimini also 80 degrees, Harbor Island 79, Roxani, Luttrell, Daniel Key, and Kemps, Basin Andrews all at 79 degrees, Fresh Creeks, Central Andrews 80 degrees, 80 Also in Allentown, Kerala, San Salvador, and Rumkey, Georgetown, Exuma, 79 degrees, 79s in Ragged Island, Clarence, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Megawanda, 81, Acklands, 81, Matutani, Nago, also at 81 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Island, a warm spot tonight at 82 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. For all areas, easterly winds, speeds 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Caution flags are in place throughout the 700 islands this evening. Low tide takes place at 8:18 tonight. And then tomorrow in the northwestern islands, the winds continue to increase out of the east at 15 to 25 knots in the northwestern islands. Wave heights building 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. Low tide at 8:17 in the morning, high tide at 2:15 in the afternoon. Now for the central and southeastern islands, the wind stronger even still, 20 to 30 knots out of the east, and we have an advisory in place for your boaters. Very rough sea conditions at 7 to 10 feet over the ocean. And as we take you into Thursday, further increases in those winds, 20 to 25 knots in the northwestern islands out of the east, wave height 6 to 9 feet over the ocean, low tide at 9:10 in the morning, high tide at 3:16 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands, we're simply asking you to stay in port on Thursday. Winds easterly 20 to 30 knots, wave height 7 to 10 feet over the ocean. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Hey, put the 6 down to me, boy.
I got a 10 put it on there. Yeah, boy. I tell you now. Now we going down the road. To the side. Check this.
I ain't buy no more number this time, 'cause my number man is live. I ain't buy no more number this time, 'cause my number man.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
The Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality, or BBSQ, ensures better business practices in the Bahamas through the development and promotion of voluntary and mandatory national standards. Standards are guidelines which ensure that goods and services are produced with the safety of consumers and the environment in mind. BBSQ has developed standards for the manufacturing of bottled water. All vehicles brought into the country are also subject to standards. We have protocols for the poultry and egg production industry. National standards also apply to the construction industry. We are setting quality management and quality assurance guidelines to ensure that medical laboratories are competent. Standards help businesses to reduce expenditure, improve customer satisfaction, access new markets, reduce environmental impact, increase market share, and innovate. For consumers, standards provide improved choice, lower costs, greater assurance, compatibility, consistency, and better product information. We believe that standards matter to everyone, everywhere. We are the Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality, where quality is our standard.
BBSQ, coming for through. You, for me.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Team Bahamas opening up competition yesterday at the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships in Costa Rica. Playing out of Group B, their first match was against Guatemala. And after giving up the first 2 goals, the 2-4-2 battled all the way back and sent this one into penalty kicks, all tied at 3. The penalty shootout not kind to Bahamians as they were outscored 3-1, suffering their first loss. Gary Joseph, Darren Benaby, and Kai Williams were the goal scorers for the Bahamas. The NAIA Baseball National Championship opened yesterday. After suffering through a long rain delay, the Indiana Tech Warriors moved on to the winners bracket with a 5-2 win over Olivet Nazarene. Grand Bahama native Yeshua Saint led the Warriors with a perfect 3-3 game that included a home run, 2 RBIs, and a stolen base. The news not as good for the Bryan College Lions. They lost their opener 2-1 to Middle Georgia State. Eleuthera native Wade Winberger drove in his team's only run. The Lions now play out of the losers bracket and must win their game today against Fisher College to keep their season alive. A young Bahamian back home following his first year of playing Division I college basketball, and as Jonathan Benson tells us, the road to success for this 6-foot, 180-pound guard took a lot of sacrifice, hard work, and dedication.
Gavin Clark left the Bahamas at the age of 13 in hopes of giving himself a better opportunity to play at a higher level. The former Kingsway Academy Saint went to live with a relative in Ohio and eventually enrolled at Euclid High School, where he spent 3 years before transferring to Cleveland Heights for his senior year.
When I first got over there, I had nobody looking at me, so I was just like another regular kid playing basketball. But as my freshman year of high school come, I had picked up like 7 interests in D1s. And most of them just stayed with me through my high school career. And I ended up going Division I, so that was a truly blessing. So.
That blessing took Clark to the University of Akron, where he's just finished up his freshman year.
My freshman year didn't go as I planned, but we all learn from it. Coming in as a freshman is hard, because you got people in front of you that's already knowing what they're doing and stuff. So coming in, learning all the defensive plays, the offense plays, all you can do is just stay focused and be ready for when it's your turn.
How hard was it dealing with COVID?
It was hard because it put a lot of stuff on hold, because couldn't get gym access a lot, couldn't do team bonding and stuff. But everybody had individuals, so we had to get our work in how we normally get in by ourselves. Standing in the gym, getting in when you can get in, not complaining. Just being able to maintain what you can do throughout the COVID year.
What's your expectations now for your sophomore year?
Our sophomore year is a bigger expectation, because last year I didn't get to play as much, but we all go through those, But next year, I feel like I can be better, work out, keep getting stronger, prepare for the next level.
Because of COVID, I know you guys are getting an extra year. Are you happy about that?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take that year back. That's a good blessing, learning. The year didn't count, so it's like I'm coming in brand new again, but just focus and knowing what to do now.
One day, Clark hopes to play professional basketball, but to get there, he knows there's still more work to be done.
I would love to go pro. I dream of going pro all my life, so one more step there, you just got to keep working. What my weakness is right now is, staying physically ready, being prepared throughout the COVID year, eating right, drinking right, working out and stuff. But everything, you got to work on everything. Everything can be improved.
With no guarantee of playing pro, Clark is taking full advantage of being a true student athlete, knowing full well there is life after basketball.
Grades always first. My dad always told me, without basketball, you got to have something to fall back on. So I'm going to get my degree first and then see where it goes from there.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Mario thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He almost found out the hard way that if you don't insure your home for the full replacement value, when it comes time to make a claim, you won't get the full payout. It's called the condition of average. If your $200,000 home is destroyed by a hurricane, but you only insured it for $100,000, half the value, you'll only get half of that $100,000 payout. Actually, less than that, because there's also a deductible, which will be deducted from your payout. Check your home insurance policy for the condition of average clause and ask your insurance agent or broker how condition of average would affect you. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interest.
The $20 combo, unlimited talk, yo, to every network you know. Across the Bahamas, I got 6 gigs of data, plus unlimited cha-cha. It just roll over too. Now let me check my people on Facebook and WhatsApp. BTC is where it's at. I rock my combo.
Your BTC 10-day combo is now only $20 and is supersized with a new low price.
BTC, do it again.
It's like a truly Bahamian beer. Hey, too much drinking. Ilucha drinking. Long Island drinking. I'm just drinking. Nassau drinking. Hey, Cat Island drinking. Bahamas drinking. Harbor Cold drinking. A taste that is fresh.
Available at Jimmy's Liquor Stores or your favorite restaurants and liquor stores throughout the Bahamas.
We know many of you out there love those golden oldies, but it may be difficult to find that song you've long been searching for. Charles Fisher may just have the answer.
It's a small store located right on Wolf Road, and if you are not into music or the old school type, you may not notice. Sydney's Record Store has been in existence for more than 30 years. It's more than a music store. It's a historical museum. You young folks won't know about records.
Yeah, we got 1,000 of them here, and about 3,000 albums in the back. They're big records, and for 45. And there's more stuff in this, but I can't put them in here. I just keep them back in the store, all the records in the back. Plenty of records here. Albums I have about.
Lionel Richie, Kenny Rogers,
and all that, but I have everybody. I have plenty of albums.
Lou Rawls' Classic is also here. So how does he keep them in such good playing condition?
To keep them bad. I clean up and do different things what I need to do. When I clean them with joy. Put joy in the water, clean them, put them back in the case. And that keep them being in the play, stereo sound.
There is also stock of cassettes. This, if you don't know, is what you call an 8-track.
That was the thing. 8-track. And then, it only have 4 tracks though. You only have 4 tracks, but it's still playing.
And get this, most of his customers are not the locals.
Yeah, people come from all over the world for records. Still buy them. Even China and all. They come, and right here, they come here all the time. But what it does when they come looking for albums, I just go put them outside, and just get them a chair, and they just go through them. They saw me on the internet, taxi driver to bring them here. Something like that there.
So how was he able to accumulate all this treasure?
I got a lot of stuff in the albums, Carters, when Carters went out, all of them. I got a lot of stuff in there. Then I have lawyers who have old albums. They just bring them by the box and drop them right there, because they know me.
There is a record player here in good condition. Sometimes the young folks come in asking, what is this?
Talk to them about it, and then I play it so they can hear it. They ain't used to it, but I just try to bring them through so they can know what it is.
The video, but
check out. Yeah. I keep them antique. People is coming and ask when there is. The young people don't know nothing about it. But then they can explain it to them and stuff like that.
For the ZNS Network News, I'm Charles Fisher.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, looking at our satellite picture, we have a broad area of cloudiness across the central and southeast Bahamas, and that's associated with a lingering trough across the area, and that will intensify over the next couple of days, so you'll see an increase in showers from the Expo mainland all the way down into Mayagona. Our forecast for tonight, we're calling for partly cloudy and breezy conditions, 75 degrees for your low, and tomorrow we're looking at very strong winds, partly cloudy with a passing shower or two very possible, but particularly in the central and southeastern islands, they will have some heavy showers and isolated thunderstorms again around the Crooked Island and Acklands area. High temperature tomorrow getting up to 85 degrees. The extended weather forecast over the next 7 days is going to be pretty wet and soggy in the central and southeastern islands right through Thursday. Very breezy. The winds are not going to start easing up until about Saturday, so the weekend is looking better if you intend to do some boating. And even sky-wise, the skies will open up again on Friday, and that trend will continue right into the early part of next week.
Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team here, thanks for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.